There is an invisible force controlling your life, and you've felt it your entire existence. You've stepped into rooms and sensed a shift in the air before a single word was spoken. You've met people who drained you without touching you, and others who radiated something indescribable. It wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't imagination. You were feeling energy. Energy is not just something within you. It surrounds you, influences you, and connects you to everything. But here's the problem. You were never taught how to control it. For centuries, the ability to perceive, shape, and direct energy has been dismissed, ridiculed, or deliberately hidden. Those who understood it held power. Those who ignored it remained controlled by forces they couldn't see. But now, for the first time, you're going to learn exactly how to unlock the hidden energy within you. Because once you understand how to access this force, everything changes. Your focus, your awareness, your ability to shape your own life. The truth has been suppressed, but not anymore. You've been interacting with energy your entire life, even if no one ever told you. You've felt it in ways that defy logic, an unshakable heaviness in certain places, an instant connection or repulsion towards someone you just met, the tingling sensation in your hands when you focus on them. These aren't random occurrences. They are proof that your body and mind are constantly reading an invisible field of energy that modern science is only beginning to understand. Think back to a moment when you felt an unexplained shift. Maybe you walked into a building and, without reason, felt uncomfortable, as if something was pressing down on you. Or perhaps you've been around someone who made you inexplicably tired, even though they weren't doing anything outwardly draining. On the other hand, maybe you've stood in nature, under the open sky, and felt a lightness wash over you, as if something within you had reawakened. These experiences aren't imagination, they are energy in motion. Ancient traditions have mapped out these unseen forces for millennia. Every culture, from the yogis of India to the shamans of South America, has recognized that humans are more than just flesh and bone. You are an energetic being, constantly exchanging vibrations with everything around you. And yet society has conditioned you to dismiss this entirely. You've been taught to ignore your own perception, to chalk it up to coincidence or overactive imagination. Why? Because an individual who understands and controls their energy is someone who cannot be easily influenced. But energy doesn't just affect your emotions, it impacts your physical body as well. Ever notice how tension builds up in your shoulders when you're around certain people? Or how your stomach tightens when you're placed in an environment that feels off? That's not just stress. It's energy reacting to energy. Your nervous system is picking up signals before your conscious mind even processes them. The problem is that no one ever showed you how to translate these signals into something useful. No one taught you that what you feel isn't just emotional, it's energetic. And here's where it gets even deeper. Science, despite its reluctance to validate what mystics have long known, has already confirmed the existence of bioelectric fields surrounding the human body. Your heart alone generates a measurable electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond your physical form. Your brain operates using electrical impulses that interact with the world in ways researchers are still struggling to explain. Studies on intention, consciousness, and quantum physics suggest that our thoughts, emotions, and very presence have tangible effects on the reality around us. If this is true, and it is, why aren't more people talking about it? Why isn't energy awareness part of everyday education? Because energy perception is power. If you can sense, manipulate, and direct energy, you are no longer predictable, no longer easily controlled. The moment you reclaim this ability, you begin to break free from unconscious patterns, from emotional traps, from the invisible forces that have shaped you without your consent. Some knowledge is too disruptive to share openly. That's why we go even deeper in our private newsletter, Insights Academy, where we uncover what can't always be said here. You'll also receive a free copy of the Kybalion, a text that has guided those seeking hidden wisdom for over a century. Sign up at the link below while it's still available. But understanding that energy exists is just the beginning. Now, let's go deeper into what's really holding you back. The invisible barriers placed not by the outside world, but by your own mind. The greatest obstacle to unlocking your energy isn't some external force keeping you trapped. It isn't a lack of ability or potential. It's your own mind, not because you are weak, but because you've been programmed to doubt, to dismiss, and to disbelieve. The moment you were old enough to ask questions, the world around you started shaping your answers. It told you what was real and what wasn't. It defined the limits of your experience before you even had the chance to test them yourself. Everything you've ever known about reality has been filtered through layers of conditioning, designed to keep you functioning within the system, not outside of it. You've been taught to trust what you can see, touch, and measure, while anything beyond that is labeled as fantasy or pseudoscience. But what if the things you've been told to ignore are the very things that could change everything? What if the reason most people never unlock their full energetic potential isn't because it's impossible, but because they've been trained not to try? Think about it. From the moment you were born, you've been surrounded by limitations disguised as facts. You were told that energy is nothing more than a metaphor, that intuition is just coincidence, that the unexplainable is either delusion or deception. Even when science presents evidence, when researchers measure the electromagnetic field of the heart, when quantum mechanics proves the impact of observation on reality, these revelations are buried beneath distractions, ridiculed or dismissed as irrelevant to your daily life. But they aren't irrelevant. They are the missing pieces, the things that separate those who live life passively from those who learn to shape it. If you've ever felt an internal resistance to these ideas, a knee-jerk skepticism, you need to ask yourself, is this skepticism truly yours? Or was it implanted in you before you had the chance to decide for yourself? There's a reason why children are more energetically sensitive. They haven't yet been conditioned to ignore their own perceptions. A child will tell you that someone feels bad without needing an explanation. They will instinctively know when something is off. But as we grow, we are told to silence that awareness, to replace feeling with logic, perception with conformity. Over time, that sensitivity dulls, not because it was never real, but because we've been trained to shut it down. The truth is, energy perception isn't an ability reserved for the gifted few. It's a skill, one that anyone can develop. But skills require practice, and you can't practice something you don't believe in. That's why the first step isn't in learning techniques or methods. It's in unlearning the mental barriers that have kept you disconnected. It's in recognizing that your mind is both the lock and the key. The only thing stopping you from experiencing energy fully is the belief that you can't. The moment that belief crumbles, the door opens. And once it does, everything changes. Because now you're not just thinking about energy. You're about to feel it, move it, activate it. The power has always been there. You just need to breathe life into it. Most people go their entire lives unaware that the way they breathe is keeping them disconnected from their own power. Breathing is something you do without thinking, something your body does automatically. But what if you knew that this simple, unconscious act is the key to unlocking energy, sharpening your mind, and shifting your entire state of being? Breath is not just about keeping you alive. It is the bridge between your mind, your body, and your energetic field. And right now, without realizing it, you are cutting off your own potential with every shallow breath you take. Look at a sleeping baby. Their belly expands and contracts effortlessly with every breath. This is the natural way to breathe, the way we were all born with. But as we grow, we accumulate tension. Stress tightens our muscles. Anxiety shortens our breaths. And without realizing it, we begin to breathe only from the upper chest. This is not just a small habit. It is an energetic blockage. Shallow breathing keeps you in survival mode, limiting the amount of life force energy, what some call prana, chi, or simply bioelectric charge, that flows through you. It is no accident that deep, controlled breathing is the foundation of every ancient energy practice, from yogic pranayama to Taoist breathwork, to the controlled techniques of martial artists. The way you breathe determines the way your energy moves. Right now, Whether you feel energized or exhausted, whether your mind is clear or foggy, whether you feel connected or numb, it is all linked to breath. Science backs this up. Studies show that breathing patterns directly affect brain function, altering your emotional state, cognitive clarity, and even your ability to focus. But what is rarely discussed is how breath controls the movement of energy itself. Think about the last time you were afraid. Your breath became rapid and shallow, your body tensed, and everything in you felt constricted. This wasn't just a biological response. It was an energetic one. Fear causes the body to contract, causing energy to stagnate and weaken. Now think of a moment when you felt completely at peace. Your breath was slow, deep, effortless. Your body felt open, your energy expansive. This is not a coincidence. It is proof that the way you breathe dictates the way you experience energy. The modern world keeps people trapped in stress cycles. Constant stimulation, fast-paced schedules, and artificial anxieties create a state of shallow breathing that weakens energy flow over time. If energy were a river, breath would be the force that keeps the water moving. Without a strong current, the river becomes stagnant, and so does your ability to function at your highest level. This is why breathwork is so powerful. It is not just relaxation, it is activation. It is a tool to break through mental fog, to clear blockages, to reset your state of being instantly. But here's the secret. Breath does more than just regulate energy. It directs it. Once you begin breathing with awareness, you start to feel your own energy moving, first as subtle sensations, then as something undeniable. And that is where the shift happens. Because once you feel it, you can begin to control it. Most people live at the mercy of their energy, reacting to the environment, to stress, to the emotions of others. But when you control your breath, you control your energy. And when you control your energy, you control your reality. This is where your journey truly begins. Because from this point forward, you are no longer just thinking about energy. You are experiencing it. And as you do, you will begin to realize something profound. Your body is already wired for this. You were never meant to live disconnected from your own power. You've simply been breathing the wrong way. Until now. Your body is more than just flesh, bone, and organs. It is a complex network of energy channels designed to move and circulate life force through every part of your being. This isn't abstract spirituality. It's a system that has been mapped out for thousands of years in ancient traditions. And now, modern science is beginning to catch up. Every major civilization, from the Vedic yogis to the Taoist masters to the healers of indigenous cultures, recognize the existence of these energy pathways. They called them different names: chakras, nadis, meridians, bioelectric currents. But the principle remains the same. When energy flows freely, you feel vibrant, clear, and powerful. When it is blocked, you experience fatigue, confusion, emotional heaviness, and even physical illness. You have felt this before, even if you didn't have the words to describe it. The tightness in your chest when you suppress emotions, the pit in your stomach when something feels wrong, the electric surge that runs down your spine when something profound happens. These sensations are not just bodily responses, they are signals from your energy system, warning you, guiding you, pushing you toward alignment or away from danger. But just like breathing, no one ever taught you how to interpret them. Instead, you were told to ignore them, to push through discomfort, to trust logic over intuition. And so, the energy pathways within you, once meant to be open highways, became clogged, constricted, or completely shut down. The chakras are perhaps the most well-known aspect of this system, though they are often misunderstood. They are not just mystical symbols or esoteric ideas. They are focal points where energy gathers and distributes itself throughout your body. Think of them as power stations. Each one controls a different aspect of your life: physical health, emotional balance, mental clarity, even your ability to express yourself and trust your intuition. When these centers are blocked, the effects are real. If your root chakra, located at the base of your spine, is unbalanced, you may feel ungrounded, anxious, or financially unstable. If your throat chakra is blocked, you may struggle to speak your truth, constantly second-guessing yourself or feeling unheard. And the crown chakra, the energy center at the top of your head, is what connects you to higher states of awareness. When this is closed off, you may feel isolated, disconnected, as if there is something missing from your life, but you can't quite explain what. But chakras are only part of the picture. The energy moving through them doesn't travel randomly. It follows precise pathways known as nadis in yogic tradition, meridians in Chinese medicine, and bioelectric circuits in modern studies. These channels weave through your body like an intricate map, carrying energy to every organ, every limb, every cell. The central nadi, known as sushumna, runs along your spine and is the primary highway of spiritual awakening. The two side channels, Ida and Pingala, represent the balance between logic and intuition, masculine and feminine, activity and rest. Every breath you take influences this flow. Every thought, every emotion, every external stimulus either strengthens or weakens it. This is why energy practices like yoga, qigong, and acupuncture are so powerful, not because they are mystical, but because they are precise tools for restoring balance. When you stretch your body in certain ways, when you breathe deeply and intentionally, you are not just relaxing, you are clearing blockages, allowing energy to flow again. And when energy flows, everything changes. You think more clearly, you feel lighter, you make decisions from a place of alignment rather than fear. What most people don't realize is that working with your energy doesn't just affect you internally, it shifts how you interact with the world. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to radiate something powerful, something magnetic, even if they aren't speaking? That isn't charisma, it's energy. Their system is flowing, unobstructed, and the people around them can feel it. The same way you can sense when someone is closed off, when their energy is stuck or depleted. This is why some people drain you while others uplift you. It's not random, it's energy exchange. Once you start to become aware of this within yourself, you will also begin to notice it everywhere. In people, in places, in interactions. And the more you pay attention, the more you'll realize something profound. Energy is not something that happens to you. It is something you can control, direct, and cultivate. The question is, will you? Because the moment you do, you are no longer just moving through life, you are shaping it. Energy is not passive. It doesn't just sit within you, waiting to be noticed. It moves, it interacts, it responds to intention. The moment you realize this, everything changes. Because feeling energy is only the first step. Learning to direct it is where the real power begins. Most people go through life completely unaware of the constant energetic exchanges happening around them. They absorb energy without filtering it. They project energy without realizing it, and they let the vibrations of people, places, and situations dictate how they feel. This is why you sometimes leave a conversation feeling exhausted, even if nothing negative was said. It's why certain places feel heavy, while others instantly lift your spirit. It's why some people make you feel safe, while others make you feel on edge. Energy is always flowing, always transferring, whether you realize it or not. The difference between those who struggle and those who thrive isn't luck, it's awareness. The ones who understand energy, who know how to protect their own field and consciously direct their energy outward, are the ones who move through life with clarity, confidence, and an unshakable presence. And here's the truth. You already influence energy, whether you're aware of it or not. Your thoughts, your emotions, your physical movements all create ripples in the energetic field around you. Have you ever been in a room where someone was intensely anxious and you started feeling uneasy without knowing why? Or met someone whose excitement was so contagious that it elevated your entire mood? That is energy transfer in action. But most people let these shifts happen to them instead of controlling them. They react instead of initiate. They absorb instead of project. And when you are constantly absorbing the energy of the world around you without filtering it, you are at the mercy of your environment. You feel drained, off balance, scattered, because you are allowing external energy to dictate your state. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if, instead of being influenced by every chaotic energy around you, you could hold your own energetic space, redirect negative energy before it affects you, and amplify the energy you want to experience? This is where true mastery begins, because energy moves where attention goes. The same way a focused beam of light is more powerful than scattered rays, your energy becomes exponentially stronger when you learn to direct it with intention. You've probably experienced glimpses of this before, even if you didn't realize it. The times when you were so focused on something that you felt unstoppable. The moments when you knew, without a doubt, that something was going to happen before it did. The instances when you walked into a situation fully grounded, fully present, and nothing could shake you. These weren't random occurrences. They were moments when your energy was aligned and directed. The key is learning how to create that state on command, rather than stumbling into it by chance. Because once you do, you become something different. You are no longer someone who simply reacts to life. You are someone who shapes it. The way you walk into a room, the way you hold yourself, the way you engage with the world, it all shifts. People notice, even if they can't explain why. They feel something different in you, a presence, a certainty, a force that wasn't there before. And that is the beginning of a reality where you're no longer just existing, but truly living in your power. For centuries, the idea of energy fields and unseen forces influencing our lives was dismissed as mystical thinking, something reserved for spiritual traditions and ancient texts. But as science advances, the lines between the physical and the energetic, the measurable and the intangible, are beginning to blur. What was once labeled as pseudoscience is now being validated through research into bioelectricity, quantum mechanics, and consciousness studies. The more we learn, the clearer it becomes. Energy is not just a belief, it is a fundamental part of human existence, shaping our thoughts, emotions, and even our physical reality. Your body is a bioelectric system. Every cell in your body communicates through electrical signals. Your brain generates an electromagnetic field detectable beyond your skull. Your heart produces an even stronger field, extending several feet outside of your body. These are not theories. They are measurable scientific facts. Studies from the HeartMath Institute show that the heart's electromagnetic field changes in response to emotions, and that this field influences not only your body, but also the people around you. This explains why being around certain individuals makes you feel drained, while others uplift you. It is not just body language or social cues. It is an actual energy exchange, occurring beyond the limits of conscious perception. Quantum physics takes this even further. At the subatomic level, everything is in a state of vibration, and observation itself alters the behavior of particles. This means that consciousness is not separate from reality. It is an active participant in shaping it. Experiments like the double-slit experiment have proven that the simple act of observing a particle changes the way it behaves. What does this mean for you? It means that your thoughts, your focus, your awareness, these are not just passive mental processes. They are energetic forces that interact with the world in ways we are only beginning to understand. But this is not just about external energy fields. Your mind itself is a frequency generator. Brainwave studies have shown that different mental states correspond to specific frequencies. The more relaxed and aware you become, the more your brain shifts into alpha and theta waves, the same frequencies associated with deep meditation, heightened intuition, and expanded consciousness. This is why ancient traditions placed such a strong emphasis on breath control, meditation, and energy work. They were not just engaging in spiritual practices. They were actively tuning their brain and body into states where energy could flow more freely, where perception could expand beyond ordinary awareness. The most groundbreaking research in neuroscience suggests that your brain does not simply receive reality, it constructs it. Your perception of the world is filtered through the electrical and chemical signals your brain processes. What you believe, what you focus on, what you allow into your mind, these shape your reality in ways that go far beyond psychology. They shape the energetic field you emit, the experiences you attract, the possibilities you allow yourself to access. This is where the worlds of science and spirituality converge. The mystics of the past and the physicists of today are speaking different languages, but describing the same truth. Energy is real. Consciousness affects reality. Your mind and body are capable of more than you have ever been told. The only question left is, what will you do with this knowledge? Because understanding is only the beginning. Now, it's time to go beyond theory and into transformation. Feeling energy is one thing, directing it is another. But the real power lies in transmutation, the ability to take the energy around you, no matter how chaotic or heavy, and transform it into something higher. This is where most people remain stuck. They can sense energy shifts. They may even start to control their own energy field. But when confronted with negativity, stress, or external forces, they fall back into old patterns. They let the energy shape them rather than reshaping the energy. The ones who master this process, however, become untouchable. Not in the sense that they never experience hardship, but in the sense that nothing external can dictate their inner state. Everything around you carries energy. Every word spoken to you, every thought you entertain, every environment you step into. Some of these energies are light, expansive, and uplifting. Others are dense, draining, and chaotic. Most people go through life reacting to these forces without realizing it. They absorb stress from others, internalize negativity, and unconsciously mirror the energy of their surroundings. This is why an argument can ruin your entire day. Why spending time around certain people leaves you exhausted. Why being in a toxic environment can alter your mood even if nothing specific happens. The unseen forces at play are shaping your emotions, your thoughts, and your body's response before you even have time to analyze them. But here's the truth. Energy itself is neither good nor bad. It is neutral. It is raw potential. It is how you interact with it that determines its effect. What feels like negative energy is often just energy in its lowest, most contracted state, dense, unrefined, and unresolved. What most people do not realize is that energy can be changed, elevated, repurposed. You do not have to reject it, run from it, or let it control you. You can take what is heavy and turn it into something powerful. This is what the ancients referred to as alchemy, not the transformation of lead into gold, but the transformation of lower energy states into higher ones. And it is something you can train yourself to do. Think about moments in your life when you were faced with adversity. You had two choices: to let it break you or to use it as fuel for something greater. The same principle applies to energy transmutation. When you walk into a space filled with heavy energy, you can either absorb it unconsciously or you can learn to transmute it. When you feel anxiety, fear, or anger rising within you, you can either let it spiral out of control or you can learn to channel it into clarity, strength, and determination. This is the difference between being a victim of energy and becoming its master. The world is filled with noise, emotional, mental, and energetic. It is easy to get lost in it, to be pulled in 1,000 different directions, to feel like you have no control over what you experience. But once you understand that energy is moldable, that nothing is fixed, that everything is shifting based on how you engage with it, you become something different. You become the person who walks into a chaotic room and brings calm. The person who turns personal pain into transformation. The one who stands in the middle of negativity and remains unaffected. Not because they are numb, but because they have learned the secret. Nothing has power over you unless you allow it to. The practice of transmutation is not just about self-preservation. It is about becoming a force of change. When you refine and elevate your own energy, you do not just protect yourself. You begin influencing the world around you. People feel it. They notice it. And over time, whether they realize it or not, they begin to shift too. Because energy moves beyond words, beyond logic. It is felt. It is absorbed. And once you know how to control yours, you are no longer just moving through life. You are shaping it with every step, every breath, every intention. The world is designed to keep you energetically weak. It is not by accident that most people feel exhausted, foggy, and disconnected. The way society is structured, through constant stress, overstimulation, processed foods, digital distractions, and relentless negativity, creates an environment where low energy states become the default. The longer you stay in these states, the harder it becomes to break free. But here's the truth. You were never meant to live depleted. Your natural state is one of vitality, clarity, and energetic expansion. The only reason you feel otherwise is because you've been conditioned to accept low energy as normal. Think about how your day begins. The moment you wake up, your phone is likely the first thing you reach for. Immediately, your mind is flooded with information, messages, and external noise before you even have a chance to center yourself. Then there's caffeine, the quick fix that jolts your system into action, but leaves you crashing later. If you eat, it's often something processed, something convenient, something that keeps you full, but not fueled. Before you even step out into the world, your energy is already compromised. You are operating on borrowed momentum, artificially stimulating yourself just to get through the day. And this is what most people call normal. Then comes the exposure to negativity, news cycles designed to trigger fear, social media engineered to keep you addicted, conversations that drain you rather than inspire you. The people around you, unknowingly trapped in the same cycle, reinforce these patterns, complaining about exhaustion, stress, and burnout, as if it were just the way life is supposed to be. The truth is, it is not. But the system wants you to believe it is because people in low energy states are easier to control. They don't question, they don't resist, they don't seek something greater. They are too tired to break free. This is why the first step to reclaiming your energy is recognizing the cycle for what it is, a program designed to keep you running on empty. The foods you are sold, the entertainment you consume, the habits you develop, they are all shaping your energy more than you realize. And once you start paying attention, it becomes impossible to ignore. You start noticing how different you feel when you eat whole, high-vibrational foods versus processed junk. You start feeling the difference between mindlessly scrolling through social media and engaging in something that actually expands your awareness. You become aware of how much of your exhaustion isn't from doing too much, but from doing too little of what truly energizes you. The moment you begin taking control of your energy, you start to see how much of your life has been dictated by forces outside of you. And once you understand that, there is no going back. The path forward is clear. Stop feeding the systems that drain you. Start choosing the things that empower you, and watch as everything begins to shift. Everything in your life is energy. Every thought, every emotion, every experience you've had, it all carries a frequency that shapes the reality around you. But now you see what was hidden. You've felt the shift, the way you breathe, the way you focus, the way you move through the world. It's all connected to something deeper, something powerful. You were never meant to stay disconnected from your own energy. You were never meant to be drained, dulled, or weakened by forces you couldn't see. And now that you understand this, you can never go back to living unconsciously. Most people will never wake up to this truth. They will continue living in patterns of exhaustion, fear, and limitation because they don't realize they have a choice. They will blame circumstances, routines, or external forces, never recognizing that the energy they carry shapes everything they experience. But you are different. You are awake now, and that means you have a responsibility, not just to see the world differently, but to move through it differently. What happens next is up to you. You can walk away from this knowledge and go back to how things were before. You can let distractions pull you back into old habits. Let stress consume your energy. Let the world dictate how you feel. Or you can choose something else. You can choose to cultivate your energy, to protect it, to expand it. You can choose to step into your own power fully, not just in moments of inspiration, but as a way of life. Because once you understand energy, you stop waiting for life to change. You change. you become the force that shifts everything around you. And the more you refine your energy, the more you will notice something incredible. The world responds. People will react to you differently without understanding why. Situations will unfold in ways that seem impossible. Intuition will sharpen, synchronicities will increase, and doors that once seemed closed will suddenly open. This isn't luck. It's energy alignment. It's the natural effect of stepping into your true state of being. But the journey doesn't end here. What you've discovered is only the beginning. There are levels to this, layers of knowledge that most will never access. And if you're ready to go deeper, to uncover the secrets that can't always be spoken about openly, join Insights Academy, our private newsletter. You'll receive exclusive knowledge that expands beyond what's possible to share here, along with a free copy of the Kybalion, one of the most powerful texts on energy and the nature of reality. The link is in the description, but it won't be available forever. Because this knowledge is not just information, it is transformation. And transformation requires action. The world is filled with people who consume knowledge, but never apply it. Don't let that be you. You now hold the key to something most people will never understand. The question is, what will you do with it? If this video resonated with you, let us know by commenting, "I understood it."